Hello to wherever you are coming in from. I am Alicia Ray. I'm from Surrey County, North Carolina, and you are here for tech tools that go together like Taylor and Travis. Thankfully, they are still together as of the recording of this video, so this is completely relevant. If something should happen between Taylor and Travis, just imagine peanut butter and jelly, okay? So you can follow along in this session at bit.ly/NCBOLD24TAVIS. TAVIS is their shipped name if you teach middle or high. I feel sure you understand shipped names. Tay comes from Taylor. Vis comes from Travis. TAVIS is their shipped name. That whole bit.ly is lowercase, or you can simply scan the QR code there and it will take you directly to our slides. Having the slides in front of you will be a huge help because you'll be able to follow along as we go through. There will be multiple times where I click pause so that you can go play, and then you just click pause at the same time. Spend as much time as you'd like doing whatever investigations you want to do, whatever playtime you want to have with different tools, and then you can just come right back to the video and click play for the next section, okay? So I am Alicia Ray, as I said. I am in Surrey County Schools, which is in Northwest North Carolina. I am currently a Project Lead the Way teacher. Prior to being Project Lead the Way, I was a school librarian for 10 years, and before that, I taught 5th grade for 7.5 years. So this is my 19th year in education. I'm really excited to be here with you. You can find me on social media at X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, or even Threads at ILUV Educating. I love educating. I love educating at gmail.com is my email address. You can send me any feedback or information that you'd like to share with me, some cool things you do with your students, or if you have questions, feel free to email me. You can follow along with my journey at aliciaray.com. I will be posting throughout this year as I am returning to the classroom for the first time in a decade, and I am so excited. I am also an ISTE certified educator, so that is kind of a big deal for me. It was a difficult situation. It was a difficult process to go through, but I made it, and North Carolina has some amazing ISTE certified educators. If that's not something that you have done yet and you're interested, definitely check it out. Reach out to Ashley McBride at DPI, and she will certainly look into getting you fixed up and let you know how you can go through that process. So I'm also a published author. I wrote Educational Eye Exam, Creating Your Vision for Education. My publisher is Dave Burgess Consulting. So if you know Teach Like a Pirate or Kids Deserve It or Innovator's Mindset or any of those books, those are all within the same publishing company. So I'm pretty proud to be standing beside them. The two little beauties that are behind me in my pictures, those are my daughters, Bailey and Sophie. Bailey is the one with glasses. She's 15. And Sophie is the brunette. She is 11. They are literally everything to me. And honestly, they're why I get so excited and so involved in what's going on in artificial intelligence, because I know that AI is going to directly impact not just their future, but it's directly impacting their present. And so I want to make sure that I am up to date so that I can help them maneuver this AI world as well as possible. So moving right on, which team are you on? I'm just curious, are you team Taylor or team Travis, or are you team nobody? I'm okay with that too. I actually started out being team Travis. I am a huge football nerd. I love everything about football. Football is every night it's on here at my house. It's always Monday night football, Thursday night football. Friday night typically is a high school football game I'm going to. Saturday, college football's on pretty much all day. And then, of course, Sunday, I've got, a lot of times when they're playing overseas, I'll have a Sunday morning game, and then Sunday at 1, Sunday at 4, 4:30, Sunday at 7:30 or 8. I love football. And so my boyfriend, Travis, yes, he does not know that he's my boyfriend, so we'll keep that quiet. But my boyfriend, Travis, started dating this girl named Taylor, and I figured I probably needed to learn more about her since she appeared to be direct competition. And they became, Tavis. They hooked up. They are together. They're a whole thing right now. Truthfully, it is like they are the prom king and queen of these here United States of America, okay? They are everywhere. you really can't get away from hearing something about Taylor Swift and or Travis Kelce. So I thought, what better way to present some information on artificial intelligence than to be thinking about Team Tavis. Now, why in the world would I pick those two? Well, here's why. Check out my session description. Hype up your lessons by uniting two unlikely tech tools in an app-smashing adventure. Just like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, take two items that are incredible independently and make them unstoppable when you use them together. So our idea is that each of the tech tools, I'll show you two tools, they are both so incredibly powerful by themselves, you really don't need the other piece of the puzzle to have something amazing, just like Taylor and Travis. You don't need the other one. Taylor Swift can stand on her own. She doesn't need Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce can stand on his own. He's Super Bowl winner. He don't need anybody else. I think he's two-time Super Bowl winner. He don't need Taylor Swift to make him popular in his arena. So when I'm looking at the two, I just wondered, how powerful would it be if the two were put together? So putting two tech tools together works the same way. Now you are welcome to click on this Bitmoji here that says cheat sheet, think sheet. It could be considered a cheat sheet if you'd like it to be. It will have you make your own copy of this right here. And so in our think sheet, you have the title, you have the bit.ly, so if you ever need to go back again, you have incredible independently, unstoppable together. So you're going to get a preview, basically, of which tools we're going to be talking about. So, of course, YouTube and QuestionWell, ChatGPT Padlet, Slides Currypod, Claude Diffit, Gemini Ideogram, and Magic Student and Suno. So what I would love for you to do before we even get started, I'm going to pause my video in a second. I would love for you to pause yours. And in your think sheet, when you click it, or you can just write notes to yourself somewhere else independently, I want you to write what you might already know about these tools. Some tools you may know a lot about. There's some oldies but goodies in here. So you may feel very comfortable with them. And then also, beside the ones that maybe you don't know so well yet, you can put on there, I'm not really sure what this does yet. Be very honest with yourself. That way you're ready when we get to the actual resources. So I'm going to pause, take as long as you need to fill that out with independently what do you know about each tool on their own. Just this first column here, okay? All right, get to it. Okay, so you have pressed play. You are ready to move forward. I can see on my second slide of my think sheet, this is just a place for you to take notes if you would like to take digital notes. If you would prefer to take handwritten notes, just don't worry too much about this particular page. On this think sheet on the front page, this section here where the two are together, that's where we're going to talk about how they function together. How can they be better when they are together? Keep it in mind that they can stand completely on their own. Okay, moving right on back in. There's going to be a lot of back and forth. But that's okay. It's all going to be on the video. You'll be able to see everything I'm doing. And if you ever feel like you're getting confused, just rewind 10 or 20 seconds and press pause. Okay? All right, let's jump in. So the first thing we're going to do is look at Lover, NCBOLD's version. If you are a Swiftie, I think you may appreciate the effort that I went into to do this. If you're not a Swiftie, I've got you. It's okay. Don't worry. It's not all Taylor Swift. All right, so Lover of QuestionWell. So the two tools that we are going to put together for this section are YouTube and a tool called QuestionWell. Now, hopefully we're all familiar with YouTube and what YouTube will do for us. Maybe QuestionWell is the new situation here. So to use the two together in YouTube, we're just going to find an appropriate video for students to watch. And then in QuestionWell, we are going to insert the YouTube link into QuestionWell to create a quiz for tons of digital formative assessment tools. So let's dive right in and see what to do. There's also a video that will show you, if you kind of meta, right? A video within a video. There's also a video here. You can always click on this little link and you can see exactly how to do each of these step by step. For this one, I chose to do YouTube to QuestionWell to Canvas, okay? So let's dive into what does YouTube and QuestionWell look like, all right? Okay, so here we are on YouTube. I went ahead and I searched for an air pollution video for 8th grade science, And I have previewed this video. I am very good with this video. I've used this multiple times in class. I feel very comfortable with this video. Of course, we know that YouTube videos as a standalone, they can be a powerful teaching tool. That gives you a visual. It gives you text when you turn on the closed captions. It does a lot of different things for you. You can create a sheet while you're reading, so like a viewing guide as students are going through and watching this. You could create a viewing guide for them to fill out. There's lots of great things you could do. You could also put them in different tools which will create questions and such for you like Edpuzzle and Quiz, and they will take the video as it is and insert questions along the way. So we know YouTube has got some powerful stuff to it. So I think we're all pretty comfortable with YouTube. Now, I am going to actually click on that video and just leave it there for a second while I go open QuestionWell. Now I want to show you how impressive QuestionWell is. Teachers can log in. This is a freemium site. Freemium means that you can get certain pieces of it for free and certain pieces of it you would have to pay for, okay? So anything that needs to be upgraded to get, anything you would need to pay for, is going to have this little lightning bolt here. I will be very upfront and honest with you. I have not found anything yet that has made me say, ooh, I need to buy the paid version. So simple as can be, this is what it looks like. My home page, once I log in, it asks me, do I want 5 or 10? I put 10. Multiple choice is the only freebie that you've got. So multiple choice questions about. I could type in air pollution, type 1 diabetes, whatever it is that you want to cover. Ancient Sumerians for 6th grade, whatever. And look at all of these languages. I'm going to do English and at any reading level. So I can also have it based on file, text, video, or website and aligned to standards. But for me, really, I just want to tell it what I want a set of, and then I click Generate Questions. Now, I will tell you it does take a minute or two to generate questions. So to speed this up, I'm just going to go straight to my saved sets. My saved sets allows me to see everything that I have created, and I do have a more button so I can see all kinds of good stuff. So let's say that I'm looking at the Battle of Yorktown, and I wanted to do this with 7th grade. Okay, so this was the decisive point in the American Revolution. So when I have created, all I did was create a set and asked it to do it based on Battle of Yorktown at a 7th grade reading level. So some of the things I see here on QuestionWell, I have a student reading passage. Okay, I'm going to be very honest. I'm a super transparent person. I'm not in love with their reading passages yet. I believe that they will come up eventually to be amazing, but as of right now, I'm not crazy about it. It does give me the points, it highlights things for me, but it gives it to me almost in an outline, and I don't know that I love that. However, if I have a text that I do enjoy, I can copy and paste that text into it and click Export. Check out what it does in my exporting. I can do reading notes where it gives me the whole passage, and then students can create their notes on the side. This is made in Google Slides. Or I could break it down, and I could have it do main idea by paragraph. So then I have my paragraph, and then the student would type in their main paragraph. Now, based on looking at released ELA EOGs, I know that I'm not going to need to paste an image that represents the main idea of the paragraph. If you want to make this super awesome for testing, again, I'm saying this is coming from released EOGs. This is not anything that you would not know if you did not go look at released EOGs. One of the favorite types of questions to ask is what details in the passage support the main idea of the paragraph. Or it might say the main idea of paragraph 4 is blank. Which of the following detail does not support this? Right? There's different ways they're going to ask about details. Sometimes you hear main idea, sometimes you hear central idea. It really just kind of depends on, what grade level and where you're at, okay? So there are some great things coming from the reading passages. Once the reading passages get amazing, that's when we're really going to see some amazing stuff coming from QuestionWell. But I don't really use QuestionWell for my passages. I use QuestionWell for my questions because it does questions well. So here I have some options. I can look at my questions. I can select none, all, or just a few. So I do love that feature. I also love that each of my questions are completely editable. So I could come here and if I want to just say what strategies, I could delete the tactics and. If I wanted to go in and change an answer, I can do that. I can check with Google search to find where they got that information to make sure my information is valid, because I absolutely do not want to throw AI questions at students and not check the validity of those questions. I also have the ability to add an image into this question, which is really exciting. I can print my questions. I can share my questions with others. There are a lot of different things that I can do here with QuestionWell. But here's the part that makes me love QuestionWell more than anything. This little export button with questions, when I click that, holy moly, look at my options. I can export my questions as Quizzes, Kahoot, Canvas, Schoology, Moodle, Gimkit, Bookit, Quizlet, Google Forms, Google Slides, right? Even all my Microsoft stuff. I can export this as anything I want to almost. That is incredible. What it's going to do is it's going to give it to me in exactly the file format that particular platform wants its questions. So when you go watch the video of YouTube to QuestionWell to Canvas, you will see me click on the Canvas button. You will see me go into a Canvas shell that I've created, and then you will watch me import my question set into Quizzes in Canvas, and then it'll be ready to grade. Correct answers are already marked for you and everything. Incredible stuff here. I love QuestionWell. But wait, lady, that's great, but you've not told me how YouTube and QuestionWell go together. You are right. So let me show you. I'm going to go back to Create Set, and I'd like 10 multiple choice questions about air pollution in English at the 8th grade level, and now I'm going to click on that based on file. Remember I told you that if you already have something that you want to use, you already have your article or whatnot that you like, you can copy and paste it here. You can also go to a website. Now I will tell you some websites do not work. I believe it's something within their source code that doesn't allow it to come over seamlessly, but just know that that's there. But here's the YouTube piece. Okay, now I do note this in the video, but I want to note that the same situation here if you're somebody who doesn't want to watch the video and you just want to go. Usually in YouTube, when I am doing anything on YouTube, right, usually I'm going to click my share button right here and I'll get my YouTube link or I'll embed it or whatever. But here's the deal. With QuestionWell, you cannot get it through there. You actually need to take the URL, not the share code, not the share URL, not embed code, any of that. At the top, the URL, the youtube.com/watch?v equals blah, 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 right? That's what you need to take. You're going to paste that here, search, the video will pop up, and then you'll click save. Again, for the interest of time, I'll show you what that looks like. Here is my Air Pollutions 101. This is literally the transcript from the video. This is the transcript from the video. How cool is that? So, you know, our kids are really, really sick of ed puzzles. Now, I love an ed puzzle. I'm not saying not to do ed puzzles. I love them. I'm just letting you know that since COVID, I think we've pounded ed puzzles into the ground. We can absolutely do class viewing of a video, and students would have this up on their computer answering quizzes or Kahoot or Bookit or whatever at a teacher pace. You could always print this out. It will print it as a PDF and have them do paper copies. If you're in a situation where that you need a completely analog activity for your students, you don't want them on devices, If you are having issues with your devices that day, whatever the case may be, this is a great feature that will allow you to still give printed quizzes as well as digital quizzes and watch the video. So you can see exactly what I do for YouTube to Quizzes to Canvas in this tutorial video. You can watch that as many times as you want because video me is much more patient than live me. Okay, so I'm going to pause this. I'm going to let you go play with whichever you'd like to play with. You can also add in your think sheet. How do those two work well together? How can you see yourself using this school year or in the future? This section right here is for you to type what they do together. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video. You do that. All right. So welcome back. We are going to move into the next era, which is our next two tools. And we are in the Fearless era, NCBOLD's version. So we are fearlessly looking up teacher tips on TikTok. And that's one of the things that I absolutely love about social media is I can use it to help me become a better teacher. Your TikTok, if you're not familiar with TikTok, basically they're just really short little videos, little clips that show you how people do things. There can also be, like everything, there's a dark TikTok that you do not necessarily want to go to. Thirst traps and such, haha. But then there's also really good educational information, ways that other teachers are teaching that are creative and innovative and just make you think, oh my gosh, my kids would understand this. So I love looking up teacher tips on TikTok. If you are against TikTok and you just do not want that app on your phone, I completely respect that. One of the things is actually that TikTok is now everywhere. So if you're on any social media, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, those little reels, the videos that pop up, a lot of times those are coming straight from TikTok. You can also go to YouTube Shorts and you can look up the TikTok videos there. They have a ton of YouTube Shorts on that, so you can check those out. Now, this little icon here is ChatGPT, and this one, that's an oldie but a goodie. I hope you recognize that as Padlet. So here we have ChatGPT and Padlet. If you've not looked at Padlet lately, it's definitely worth the time. So I actually got this one from a guy on TikTok, and his video I actually put here instead of me sharing. So he's a great one to follow. You can subscribe to his channel, get all kinds of great stuff. He is really, really good at sharing creative ways to get students to understand different content and different grade levels. So we are using ChatGPT and Padlet. Now, ChatGPT, here's what he says. Basically, what happens when you're getting to something and your kids are asking you, why do I need to know this? How am I ever going to use this in life, right? I'm not going to need this in the real world. Why are we learning it? I've never used blah, blah, blah. Parents will even say, I've never used calculus. I've never used geometry. I've never used algebra, that kind of thing. Well, this is a way to help make it relevant for students. Now, depending on your teaching style, you may want to use this to introduce a topic. You may want to use this as a hook to get students into, oh, this is what we're doing and this is why we're doing it. Maybe you just put this in your back pocket for that beautiful moment when a child says, Miss or Mr. or Coach so-and-so, how am I ever going to use this? And then oh, I have. You know what? Just go ahead and do something for about 3 minutes. I'm going to go create something and we'll talk about that, right? This is a great way to dive into that. So I'll show you, pull back the curtain a little bit on mine. I have asked ChatGPT for 5 ways blank is used in the real world. So here's my ChatGPT, and this was for when I taught 5th grade. Notice I did not use correct spelling, punctuation, grammar, spacing, any of that. It's fine. How will students in 5th grade use fractions and decimals in the real world? Now, I knew the answer to this, but when we get into like calculus and we're talking about derivatives, when we're talking about exponential growth on a typical job site, things like that, I don't know. I couldn't tell you why you're going to actually need to know that day to day. But fractions and decimals, I thought, okay, this will give me some good information. Look at what all ChatGPT tells me. Cooking and baking, and explains it. Money and shopping, and explains it. Sports and games, and explains it. Time management, and explains it. Construction and crafting. health and fitness. And then if I didn't get as many as I wanted, I could ask ChatGPT, give me more, right? So all I did with those topics, I chose just 5 of them. And I'm going to go to the Padlet that I created. Now, if you're not sure how to make a Padlet, they're very basic. There's all kinds of videos on how to make Padlets. But in this one, I went in, and I believe in my recording, I show you exactly how I made this. But I have it set up as a bookshelf. So there is, we used to call it columns in Padlet if you are an OG Padlet user, but now they're called bookshelves. So in this bookshelf, I have section 1, which we could see as sports. I have cooking. I have shopping. I have construction or crafting, measuring. I have gas prices and understanding what your gas prices mean. And I can add more sections here if I want to. All I did was click Add Section. And then I went here to the plus sign and found a picture online. So I can go find NASCAR racing. Maybe that's the sport I want them to think about. And I could put this picture in. And then I click Publish. So then what the students are going to do is underneath that, they are going to tell why they would ever need to use that. They can press the plus button. They could tell why they would ever need to use that. Okay? So it basically puts this back in students' hands. They are now the ones responsible. And that creates more buy-in and more understanding of, oh, that's why I would need to use it. Okay? Kind of creative, right? It's one of those things that I'm loving going on social media, TikTok, YouTube, my Facebook groups, or my Instagram hashtags. I love using those to find videos for things that I could do to amp up my classroom. So you can always click that link there and see him, subscribe to him, and you'll get some really good stuff. So again, I'm going to pause the video. You can go play with ChatGPT and Padlet as long as you would like. When you're ready to move on, just come right on back to the video. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your time with ChatGPT and Padlet. We are going to move into the next era of Red. Red is our next era, NCBOLD's version, of course. And in our Red area, yes, I had to stretch it. Let me have this punny joke. Are you ready for student engagement? Ha ha ha, hope you're laughing. So here we're talking about Google Slides and CurryPod. Okay, these are the 2 upcoming ones. Now, some of us are Microsoft only, or some of us have actually even transitioned from loving Slides to loving Canva. It can literally be any of those presentation devices. So even though it says Slides, I don't want you to get stuck on Slides. It could be PowerPoint. It could be Canva. There are lots of different options. As long as it can be downloaded as a PDF, you can use that particular presentation tool. And then CurryPod. Oh my goodness, CurryPod is amazing. So I'm going to have to show you some CurryPod. So to access CurryPod, I just go to currypod.com. That's it. Okay. I'm in currypod.com. I've signed in. I have a school plan trial that will expire November 9th, but there are lots of ways that you can do training and get extended usage and that kind of thing. But the stuff I'm going to show you today is on the free version. So one thing you could do, there's lots of different you might want to try down here. It's just incredible the stuff CurryPod offers. If you're familiar with Nearpod or Pear Deck, it's like Nearpod or Pear Deck got with AI and they had a baby and they named it CurryPod. So that's where this is coming from. So CurryPod on its own, you can click full lesson and you can tell it exactly what it is that you're wanting it to be for. You can customize the lesson to meet your needs. You can tell it how long you need it to be and so forth. You can fully customize a lesson. Now, here's what they looked like. Now, there have been updates in CurryPod since I did this lesson, but I did want you to see it. This is what a CurryPod lesson might look like. So I'm going to go to this. No, not that one. I don't like that one, sorry. I'm going to pick a different one. Here we go. So this is ecosystems. I could use this in multiple levels in science class, okay? Depends on how narrow or how deep, how surface level, or how deep into the content I want to get. But it creates slide decks for me and everything. It has content slides. So these are the content slides that students will just see. So whenever I present this session, it's going to give them a code. Just like Kahoot, Quiz, all of the tools we're used to, students will go to a certain website, type in a code, and they will see the slides as you move through them, okay? Then you have, here's another content slide that's really for teachers. This one is for teachers, but then you get back to the student versions. So here, content slide. What is an ecosystem? Land ecosystems, water ecosystems. And then the kids have a poll. Now here they're asked these questions. It'll pop up on their screen. I'll ask them which one that they believe is an ecosystem. And then it tells if they're correct or not if you want it to. Then we have another content slide. Another content slide. And then there's a cool drawing, simple food chain that you might find in a local forest or park, labeled organisms, producer, consumer, decomposer. Show with arrows how energy moves from one. They give you some quick instructions so that you can sit in pairs using one device. And then when it's done, you can even have the students vote on which simple food chain they feel like was the best, or the one that represented their area the best, or the one that met the content the best, whatever, right? Then it says, imagine if an animal in your food chain was removed because it moved away or became extinct. Draw what might happen to the rest. So you see how we have all these different slide types, okay? But let's be honest, because we're educators here, and I love CuriePod, and they are aware of this too. If I were to put this up in front of some 5th grade students studying ecosystems, or some 8th grade students studying ecosystems, what are they immediately going to do? Yep, they are going to shut down. They are not going to read this information. That's too much text on a slide, right? And I get that, completely get that. And really, the truth is, many of us taught content like this during COVID. So we have some beautiful slides that are already made, don't we? We have ecosystem slides that we know hit every single one of our standards. They're probably chunked up a lesson at a time so it's not overwhelming. And maybe we just need to make those slides interactive. Well, that's also what CuriePod can do for you. So we know CuriePod is really cool on its own. We know slides or PowerPoint, Canva is all really cool on its own. But what if we took these two amazing things and we merged them together? So that's what we're going to do. Instead of clicking full lesson, we're going to click on Curify My Slides. You see they have the PowerPoint icon here. We have the CuriePod icon here, so that kind of helps you know where you're at. I'm going to customize my lesson. So if it's a 5th grade lesson, an 8th grade lesson, if it's a professional development, I'm going to upload my slides. Now, this is very important. Notice that it does not have a slides extension at the end. It does not have a Canva extension at the end. It does not have a place where you can just put in a link to a presentation. Instead, we have to have it downloaded as a PowerPoint, a Keynote, or a PDF. And that's where all my Google comes into play. Okay, so let's think about this cheat sheet. If I have File and I go to Download, notice that I have a PDF option there. I also have the same option if I go up here in Canva to Share, Download, and then I change it from a PNG to a PDF. And it has all my stuff, and then download it. So all you need to do is download your slides, PowerPoint, Canva presentation, Keynote, whatever. Download that as a PDF. And then stick it right here into CuriePod, and then click Customize Now. Again, to save time, I'm going to show you what this looks like. So this is actually this very presentation. This is exactly what we're doing together today. So I would click Present, and if I were doing this with CuriePod, it would be more interactive as far as me being able to control where you're at, what you're doing, gives me more ownership It really can help with classroom management because, again, students can't mess whenever you've got CurryPod on. So look at what it does to hook my students. What word comes to mind when you think about combining different tech tools for education? This is going to show up as a word cloud. It will prompt you to put in a word, and then that cloud will show up for everyone to see. Now you have an open question. Imagine you have two favorite toys or games that are really fun on their own. Now think about what would happen if you combine them into one super toy or a game. How do you think it would change the way you play? Share an example of two things you would like that might be even more fun together. And then again, you could vote, which is really awesome. Kids love to be in some competition, and a little healthy voting is just fine for them. So then I go through, this is all my content slides, and then when we get to the end, now I have a choice board. This was created by CurryPod, guys. I didn't have to do it. I did not do this. But it took my information in my PDF slides to create a quiz pairing YouTube with Question Well. Use ChatGPT to discover 5 real-world uses of technology. Curify your Google Slides to make them interactive. Write a song about using Magic Student, then set it to me. Right? It's all the things that you can do. And then you have a place for AI feedback explaining exactly how two tools could work together. And that AI feedback is going to tell you if you're on the right track or not. And again, it bases its feedback based on the PDF that it's been given, which is amazing. And then finally, an exit ticket. How confident are you with today? Pretty awesome, the stuff that CurryPod will do. Now, if you've not ever used CurryPod and you're thinking, wow, that is pretty stinking amazing, but I don't know if I can use that right now. Well, lucky for you, our next slide provides for you a CurryPod access code. 2 months of premium access for free. Now, my hope is that this Curie Love code will stay available for a while. It was generally created by CurryPod for the NCBOLD live versions. So I'm just going to leave it on here, and as long as it will work, fantastic. Y'all just keep on trying it. It will give you 2 months of premium access for free so you can really dig into the really good stuff there. There's also ways to become a CurryPod ambassador, and you can go and literally just Google search CurryPod ambassador, and it will take you to that. And with a CurryPod ambassador, you will have access to more tools and the more updated tools as they move forward. So that ends for us our red era. Again, pause the video, go play around with CurryPod. Pick some different things that you've already got in slides or PowerPoint, Keynote, or Canvas. Download them as PDFs, stick them in there, and see what you think. You can always edit. It gives you a starting point, but you can always go in and edit more. If you want to add a brain break, you can add brain breaks. Just play around with it, see what you can do. It's amazing. I'm going to pause, and you are welcome to pause for as long as you would like. Come back when you're ready. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed putting your interactive slides in CurryPod and playing around with that a little bit. You do have a video within a video again where you can go check that out at any time to learn more about how to put slides into CurryPod step by step by step. Okay? So our next era, we are heading into Midnight's NCBOLD's version. And in Midnight's, y'all, can I get an amen on this one? Too many midnights spent lesson planning. Way too many midnights spent lesson planning. Especially if you have children and you've got a sick one, or if you wake up in the middle of the night and you're sick, you know, there's nothing worse than having to write a lesson plan. Writing sub-plans is just horrific because we never know how much they know. A lot of times we don't know maybe which sub we're going to get, how comfortable they feel with technology, if they've subbed for us before, so forth and so on. So this is something that I plan to do to simply train my students. If I have a sub, you are probably going to be doing DIFIT. There it is, transparency, beautiful. So if you've heard about DIFIT, you know what I'm talking about. If you've not heard about DIFIT, I'm going to blow your mind in a minute. Now Claude, let's talk for a minute about that one because that's what we're pairing our DIFIT with. Claude is similar to ChatGPT and Google Gemini. It is a large language model, an LLM, that will talk back and forth to you. It's a generative AI. I love Claude. I love Claude. As of right now, Claude is one of the best ones out there because it takes ChatGPT and Gemini and merges them together. So it's like taking the best of the best from both of them and pulling them together to give me even better information. Now, I say that with a caveat because I don't know when you're watching this video. ChatGPT 5 is coming soon. And ChatGPT 5, holy moly, okay? It is like the difference between a teeny little dwarf planet and our massive sun, which is the largest star in our solar system. Like, it's going to be huge. So, Claude may not always be my favorite, but as of today it is. And I love Diffit, and you're going to fall in love with it too. So I'm going to start off showing off what Diffit can do, and then we'll piggyback back to Claude, okay? So here is Diffit. All I did was sign up. You can see my trial to premium features is ended. So everything I'm getting ready to show you is completely free. You can get Diffit means differentiate it. So you can get resources on whatever student level you might need on literally anything. So here I have, this is what my front page would look like when I get on. Literally anything. I can type whatever topic or theme or question I have here. I can even put it in fiction, which I love. So if my students are struggling with quadrilaterals, that's actually a story that I tell in my book. I can actually go here and tell it to write me a story about quadrilaterals. You could also go look at Educational Eye Exam, and there's a whole chapter about quadrilaterals because I love telling stories using math. I'm a big storyteller in my classroom. So you could even write a fiction story. You could write a fictional story about the Battle of Yorktown, which we looked at a little bit earlier with Question Well. This may remind you quite a bit of Question Well, right? Because I have all these different choices for grade level. Notice it starts at second grade. It starts at second grade because that's when they're kind of like, okay, now we're reading in complete sentences because this does have reading involved. I can pick different languages. Again, I have, oh my goodness, so many different languages. And then I would just click Generate Resources. I can also, just like Question Well, I can put in a YouTube. I can put in a URL of an article. I could put in a PDF, and I can change that reading level to be whatever reading level I need to be and whatever language I need it to be. I could do any text or excerpt. So if I already have my text or excerpt, I could put it here, or I could upload the PDF, or I could just go straight from a vocabulary list, and it will make me vocabulary information. So using that, again, to save time, I'm not going to make one live for you. Instead, I'm going to go to my resources. So here's what one could look like. Here's Battle of Yorktown. Now, we've already seen what Question Well would do with Battle of Yorktown for 7th grade. This is what Battle of Yorktown will do for 8th grade. So it's given me some passages. I like the reading passages better. Do you see why? Right? It definitely looks more like a reading passage rather than an outline of notes. So I do like this better. I also like the fact that I can click Show Sources, and it's going to show me where my sources came from. There they are. If I don't like a source, I can edit it and have it regenerate. It creates for me a video. I can adjust the length to make it longer or shorter. I can edit, go in and hand edit whatever I want to do. And then it also gives me a summary, vocab words, multiple choice questions, short answer questions, open-ended prompts. Holy moly. And I can go get student activities for that, or I can just go here on the side. These are 3 that I use quite a bit: drag and drop, basic slides for presenting, and the Freyer model. When I go to get student activities, I see some of my recent ones. I can also favorite, create my favorites, but then look down here. Do you see how this principal doc, it says it's free this month? This bubble map, it says it's free this month. This reading summary says it's free this month. The Google Forms is free. Here's some basics, right? I have some that are free forever, But then I'm going to slide on down here and I'm going to find some stuff that is not free. Okay? So if I'm looking at some and I want to do, let's see, what was one of my favorites? A visual vocabulary slide. I click on that one. Notice it says it's only available with DFID Premium. Extend your trial. But here's what it would look like. It's going to have my image in it. What did I notice and what did I wonder? It's going to have vocabulary words and have me find an image and tell why it represents that. It's going to have me read and take notes here on the side. It's going to give me a multiple choice question. Why did I answer that? Why did I pick that answer and why? It's going to give me my short answer questions to write my responses. How cool is that, right? Here's open-ended. And then a partner group where now you can put what your partner said. You have all kinds of fantastic resources here. If you are a fan of Edu Protocols, where it says buy Edu Protocols, this is literally on your DFID for now, which is amazing. I love almost everything about DFID. The only issue that I have as I scroll through here is that there's some that I love that are only available with DFID Premium. So I'm just going to be, again, super transparent with you. Your girl's going to end up buying it. I know I will. I will end up going ahead and paying for this DFID. I can click to get a free trial. I can go in and, I don't think it costs very much to get this. Not much at all. But I can turn this into anything that I'm working on. So now, why in the world would I need DFID? Why would I need to use Claude if I have DFID and it's creating my own passages? Well, let's take a quick look at that. Okay? So I go in and I've asked DFID to make me a 3-paragraph passage about gear ratios and the impact on torque and speed for 8th grade students in an introductory career and technical education class. That is literally what I will be teaching in my class. I know for a fact that I won't be there as I mapped out my timing. I know that I'm going to be missing this day of class. And I just want them to get some gear ratio practice. So first I have my passage. Look at that. I can adjust the length. I can show the sources. There they are. I can edit it. I can copy it. My summary, my keywords, my multiple choice questions, short answer questions, and I can put it into anything that I want it to go into. Look at all those options down there too. That's great. Except, now as an 8th grader, is that going to take a 42-minute class period to do? Absolutely not. This right here, they're going to have that read in 5 minutes. 10 if I'm lucky and they're not paying attention, okay? They will be done with that so insanely fast. They will be done with the summary, the key vocabulary words, any multiple choice questions and so forth. They're going to be done. Also, I have noticed that it doesn't give me a lot of practice on calculating gear ratio, and I don't like that. I need them to have some practice within their reading passage. So this is where Claude comes in. I go to Claude, and for the sake of time, I've already pulled up what I asked it to do. Create a 3-paragraph passage about gear ratios, and right, it's the exact same thing that I made here. It gives me a little more oomph to it. So here's my 3 paragraphs, 1, 2, 3, and then it asks me if I want to do any more. So the thing that I love about Claude that I cannot do with DFID yet, I love the fact that I can ask it specifically to add or remove something. So I said to it, use the same passage but include an additional paragraph after the first one that gives more examples of how to find gear ratios. So it said, certainly. It's always so polite. So now check this out. My first paragraph is the same. Here is my new second paragraph. And notice it says, let's look at a few more examples. That's amazing. So it gives it like 3 more examples, which is huge for me. I need it to do that. So students have multiple opportunities to understand what a gear ratio looks like. Then that third paragraph was my original second, and my fourth paragraph was my original third. So now I like it. I can copy and paste either by clicking and dragging to highlight, or I can click copy. And if I go back to my Diffit, remember when I was making something and it told me I could put any text or excerpt? I'm just going to paste it right there. And check out what my resources do when I do that. I kept it original at the 8th grade reading level. I can make my reading level higher for my gifted ed students or lower for students who may need some additional support with reading. Always remember those gifted ed students. As a gifted ed teacher in my past, definitely want to level things up for them too, because this may be too simplistic for them. But you do notice it's got a little more depth to it. It does look a bit more rigorous. And because my passage is more rigorous, because it has more depth, my summary, my vocab words, my questions are going to also be more rigorous. So again, I can come over here. I can click on any of these that I might like. This one I can currently use, which is great. And then I just export the activity. Here is everything that my students needed. And I can export that activity to Google Slides, pop that bad boy into my LMS. We use Canvas, and have students do it on their own and turn it in. So that is how I'm going to use Claude with Diffit. Both are amazing by themselves. Claude will also give me questions, but it's not going to automatically generate the slides for me that I need it to. Not yet. Diffit is amazing, but I don't like the caliber of the reading passages quite yet. I want them more rigorous. So I go to AI, create informational text, go to Diffit, and allow it to create interactive slides, comprehension, video, vocabulary, and so forth. I can also, if I don't want it to be informational, just as a thought, I can also do it as a fictional story, and I can have students map out the plot too, which is huge. The plot, I could do central idea as a bubble map with them putting details around it. I can have them decide the theme. There are all kinds of tools in Diffit. So go check that out. Here is the video for low prep, high yield subplans. I'm going to pause again. You go check out whatever you might want to check out, and we are going to head to our next era when you come back. Okay, friends, welcome back. We are now going to enter our Speak Now section of our presentation. So we have moved to another era. I hope you enjoyed Diffit. It is really just incredible. You can't go wrong with Diffit. And I will very likely be buying it because it's that good. Speak Now, though, we're going to talk about creative writing with AI prompts. A lot of people are concerned that using AI generators is going to really impede or impair our students' writing abilities. So let's talk about that. How about instead of using generative AI to write for them, what if we use generative AI to create their prompt for them? Kind of twist things on its head a little bit, right? So in this situation, we're going to talk about Gemini. Gemini is the old Google Bard. All I can figure is Google Bard came out right after ChatGPT. Google had been working for years on a large language model to release to the public, and ChatGPT, which is OpenAI, beat them to it. So they quickly released Bard afterwards. And to be honest, not a lot of people were crazy about Bard. Most of my people anyway, chose to stick with ChatGPT because Bard just didn't have it going yet. Well, then they went in, they reimagined, they fixed up Bard, they made it look better and work better, and really align with Google Apps for Education better, which I know they don't call it Google Apps for Education anymore, but that same general idea, it really connects to your Google Drive well. And they rebranded it as Gemini. So Gemini is a large language model. It is going to look very similar to the same thing you'll see in ChatGPT and the same thing you just saw in Claude. Now this little guy over here, this little brain looking thing or something, cloud, I don't know what that is, but it's the logo for ideogram or ideogram. It's kind of like GIF and GIF. People are on different sides of the fence and it's a whole thing. I tend to think ideogram because it's an idea. So Anywho, so we're going to take Gemini and ideogram. What we're going to do is we're going to ask Gemini, create 3 prompts I can put into an AI image generator to pique student curiosity and creativity in writing. Then I'm going to put whatever the response is, I'm going to pick one that I really like, and I'm going to plug that into my ideogram, and I'm going to let it make for me a beautiful visual for students to write based off of. They can pick any detail within the visual they like, anything they see that piques their curiosity or their interest, and then you can just have them free write for 5 minutes. Now, we could do this on a completely fantastical, mysterious, science fiction, whatever genre you want it to be in a fictional basis, or you could have it create your three prompts that visually show the turning point of the American Revolution. At which point, then they would have to pick out pieces of the picture that most closely relate to the American Revolution or the Industrial Revolution, or whichever one I just said. You're going to just use those pictures to pick out what it is and then write based on that. But it gives them kind of a cheat sheet in front of them. So I also, as a librarian and a lover of all things reading, I thought, how can I use this to expand my students' reading? So I thought, why don't we ask it? Create 3 prompts I can put into an AI image generator that represent the theme of Edgar Allan Poe's Telltale Heart. Oh, yeah. If you're an ELA person watching this, you just went, what? I know. Kids struggle with theme all the time. They struggle with symbolism. They struggle with central idea and details. These are ways that we can help them visually start to make those connections. And if they can do it visually, then we can simply just take that leap into text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this second one. I really like the way that one sounds. That sounds very trippy. I'm going to copy that one. I'm going to open up my ideogram. And ideogram, just so you know, you get 10 credits per day. So 10 credits allows you to do 10 different prompts. So I'm going to paste exactly what it says there. I can do auto, I can make it look realistic, designed, anything like that. If you want to give them an anime Telltale Heart, they'd probably love that. But anywho, now I'm going to generate. It also has color palettes I can pick from. I like to allow it to auto color palette. That way it really blends with what it's trying to do. So generate. It takes it just a minute. One of the things that the upgrade does is it does allow you to skip the seconds of waiting. But you're going to get to skip the seconds of waiting anyway today because I'm going to pause the video. All right. Took about a minute or so, but I just paused it. So for you, it feels like it was split second. Holy moly at these images. Am I right? That is unreal. So I can pick any of these 3 that I really like. I think I'm going to go with this one. What? Yeah, that's fantastic. Now, if I wanted to go in and remix it, change anything to it, I absolutely can. But y'all, I'm going to be honest, that one is pretty amazing. That might be one of the best ones I've gotten. Now, keep in mind, artificial intelligence really struggles with letters and numbers. So if you're wanting to do something where it's going to have like the name of a high school behind you and in a banner or whatever, it's going to really struggle to do that. It's going to struggle with faces and hands. This face is pretty stinking spectacular. But I have seen hands where there's like 6 fingers or 8 fingers. So those are things just to kind of watch for when you create it. But goodness gracious, this right here is literally like, I actually believe I'm going to save this one before I exit out because I really, really like this. I'm going to send this to my teachers. So anyway, something really cool that you can do. There's some others that I've done in the past. Here's one that was very whimsical and got people thinking. some block party stuff. There you could see like letters. Again, it doesn't do really well with letters. Her fingers look bent up. I was kind of playing around with educational eye exam to see what it did. So it's really interesting to see what ends up being made in this particular platform. Amazing stuff. If they ever make this a like you have to buy it thing, y'all, this might be another one I just go ahead and do. There are lots of different image generators, but I just love Ideogram. I love how simple it is to use and how you can remix or edit whatever it is you've got. There's just so much you can do here. So definitely check that out. I am horrible at writing the image generator prompts, but AI can definitely write me prompts for AI and make it amazing. So really neat stuff. Definitely go check into Ideogram and Gemini if you have a minute. Another really clever thing to do is to create, have your students create words of things that they need in order to learn. And then they can turn that into you, and then you can kind of try to decipher that with them. Or maybe you want to create one for your classroom and then with maybe your rules in it, and have it show examples of kindness to others, examples of being respectful, examples of being on time for class, getting your work done, things like that, perseverance. Like you could really take this wherever you want to go and make yourself like a classroom image. Of course, we're going to cite it. We're going to let people know this did not come from our own brains. We can tell the prompt and that it came from Ideogram. But how cool is this, right? Gemini and Ideogram. Go check those out before we head into our last era. We're heading into our very last era, 1989. I'm pausing. Go play. All right, welcome back. It is time to finish us up in 1989. I am so excited because for some of us, this may hit home. Today, we're going to party like it's 1989. We're going to do that through Super Suno Song Smash. This idea, actually, I got from Stacy Lovedoll. She is an incredible asset to North Carolina. I absolutely love her. You can follow her by clicking on her name on yours, or you can click on here to go check out her Wakelet on AI. I love all things artificial intelligence. I love learning about it and discovering what the limits are and the biases and the I like knowing the good, bad, and the ugly about it. Well, I sometimes go into Miss Stacy Lovedoll's rabbit hole of Wakelet, and sometimes I need to remind myself to come up for air. So it's okay if you get in and get overwhelmed. It's something you could say, hey, I want to go spend 5 minutes in there and see what I can learn today. And that would be just fine and dandy. Stacy is incredible. So this is Super Suno Song Smash. So first we're going to take Magic Student, and we're going to pair it with Suno AI. Magic Student and Suno AI. We are going to have Magic Student create lyrics for a song on any topic in the world we want it to be on. And then we're going to insert those song lyrics into Suno AI and choose our music genre. And it's going to actually put music behind our lyrics, which is pretty awesome. Now, with that, let me give you an asterisk. I always love my little asterisks, my little caveats here, okay? I would absolutely not, for any reason, put a student into Suno AI and tell them to go, okay? Suno AI is not an educational platform. Magic Student was created for teachers and educators and their students. So Magic Student goes through a vetting process. Suno AI does not. Suno AI does not have all of our SIPA, COPA, FERPA stuff. It's not that's not its purpose. Suno AI is something there just to be kind of fun. So if you're dealing with some younger students, you could definitely do this using Magic Student to create song lyrics. But you as the teacher may want to take those lyrics and put them into Suno AI under your account. If you have older students, that's going to be up to you and your administration, your technology division. the parents, have a good conversation about it. But it is so incredible. Even if students don't use it, you can totally use it and make them a playlist of the songs that are going to come from Suno AI. So let's check this out. Let's see how this works. Of course, you do have a video here that you can watch over and over and over again to understand how to do this. So when I'm in this, you can literally click where it says Magic Student, where it has the description below it. Click where it says Student and drop in your name and join room. This is going to add you to my room so I can see what you are doing. You, however, would want to create your own Magic Studio room, and that information is going to be on our resources document at the very end of the presentation, okay? So here I am in Super Suno Song Smash, and I'm using the tool Song Generator. There are other tools I could use too, but I just want to use this one. And we are going to create a song about, let's do the design process. And there are certain things that I want to include in my song. So I'm going to finish typing my stuff in. While you are in Magic Student, go to that same link that we just clicked on here, right there. And while you are typing in on yours, I am going to type in on mine, and you can come right back. All right, here's mine. So I am using the design process from PLTW, my particular subject area. This is the design process that they use, and I want to make sure that my students understand that this can be done as many times as necessary. It's a cycle, okay? So I'm going to actually put in here, this is a cycle. And then a lot of my kids are way into Luke Bryant, so I guess that's his name. I don't know. I don't listen to country music. But anywho, if you are a Luke, whatever his last name fan is, and I spelled it wrong, I am so sorry. So I'm going to click Generate. I can give it a specific song title if I want to, but I didn't really want to. So now I have my song. Look how fast that was. My song is here with choruses, bridging, outros, verses. Love it. So now I'm going to click Copy. Okay. Magic Student all by itself can do all kinds of amazing things for you. And as the administrator of that particular site, I can go in and I can see what every single person put. I can see what their topics are. So I can go here to Leslie, and I can see that Leslie wanted a song about photosynthesis, sunlight to glucose. She wanted these things put in. She wanted it to the Phineas and Ferb theme song for 8th grade. I love it. Love it. I can go to Jennifer G., and I could see that she wanted Chromebook care guidelines. Carry it with both hands, use it for educational purposes, charge it regularly, etc., right? You could even make this song about you, or you could have students make songs about themselves. You can make it about the content you're learning. You can make it about all the students in your classroom. There are so many different options here in Magic School, which houses Magic Student. Magic Student is very simple to get to. You just click Launch to Student. You click Launch New Room, name your room, and then it's going to give you all the tools. You pick which tools you want, and then you can customize it however you want, and then it will give you a URL or a QR code that you can give to students to put them in your classroom. I wouldn't take students and just let them loose in Magic School. Magic School is for teachers. Magic Student is for them, okay? So that's the part what I'm going to do with Magic Student. Now I've copied my lyrics, and I want to insert those lyrics into Suno AI. So I am going to have to go open up Suno.ai. It'll take you to Suno.com, same thing. Notice that this will create a song for you. We do not want kids doing that. Because again, this is not created with students in mind at all. So this may be a situation where you say, oh, I love your lyrics, come see me, and let's put it in as the genre you want. It may be a situation where you have juniors and seniors, and that's a different story. Just make sure that you collaborate with your tech department and your administration. Let them know what you're doing, just in case anything should happen, okay? So here are the globally trending songs. I'm going to go to Create. I've logged in and I'm going to create. Now, when I click create, it's just, I tell it what I want it to be and it's going to make me my own song. That's not what I want in life. I want the lyrics that I chose. So I'm going to click up here where it says custom. That is so important, and I talk about that in the video too. Custom. And this is where it changes and says enter your own lyrics. So I'm going to paste my lyrics in. Okay, so it's telling them all about defining the problem, taking our time, etc. I'm going to tell it that I want it in a country music with a male lead and female background singers. I may need to put commas between that so it doesn't get confused. Okay, a male lead, female background singers, and I want it to be upbeat. My title is going to be PLTW Design Process, and now I'm going to click Create. It's going to start creating those for me. It does take it a few minutes to go through and generate, so I'm going to pause while you go create yours. You can come back when you're ready. Okay, so now that we have created, it gives me two options that I can check into. I see my lyrics there. I can put this on the screen for my students and play it. If I play it through here, you won't be able to hear it because I don't have my speakers connected, so I'm going to play it on my phone so you can hear what the two sound like. So here you go. We start with a problem, gotta find what's wrong. Ask the right questions, we'll figure it out strong. Let's gather our thoughts, brainstorm and explore. Ideas are flowing, we can always find more. To find the problem, we'll take our time. Generate concepts, let our ideas shine. To find a solution, let's build it right. Test it out, make sure it's tight. Pretty awesome, right? Okay, here's the other one. It sounds slightly different, not a whole lot different, but it does give me another option. So here you go, same lyrics. We start with a problem, gotta find what's wrong. Ask the right questions, we'll figure it out strong. Let's gather our thoughts, brainstorm and explore. Ideas are flowing, we can always find more. To find the problem, we'll take our time. Generate concepts, let our ideas shine. Design a solution, let's build it right. Test it out, make sure it's tight. So you see how that one is a little bit more upbeat. So there are all kinds of things you can do here with Suno. If you have a really gifted student in music, you may have noticed that under Create, you also have a place to go in and upload your own audio. So if you have a student that really wants to take their lyrics and their music and merge it together but doesn't have the software, Suno can do that for you, which is pretty amazing. So definitely check this out. To share these with people, you can click on the copy song link. It's going to be linked to your clipboard, and then you can stick that into whatever LMS or whatever way you want to share a link with a student, and they can listen to them. So like I made one on gear ratios that was hip hop, a Caribbean food chain that was country, one on Taylor Swift that was a pop music, one on circles, talking about circumference, diameter, radius, and so forth for math. So there are tons of options of ways to integrate technology, specifically artificial intelligence, into literally any content area in this situation. So that is our Magic student. This is our 1989 era. So we are here in the home stretch. There's your tutorial video. If you would like to, I'm going to leave this Padlet up as long as I can. So if you would like to add your song, you can simply click Add Song to Padlet. And I am actually going to go grab my song, the PLTW process song, and I'm going to put it in there for us. So when I do that, here is my Super Suno Song Smash. When I press add, you can now customize when you want it, like exactly what you want them to put in. So I'm going to put in Alicia Ray, link. I'm going to paste my link and press my arrow. And my song is about PLTW design process. And then I'm going to publish it. And there it shows up. And now anybody can go in and listen to the PLTW song about design process in country music. Pretty amazing. So I am super grateful that you were with me today. We have hyped up lessons uniting 2 unlikely tech tools in app smashing. Each one of those tools can stand completely by themselves. So if you just picked up one new tool today, I hope this was worth it for you. If you felt like you're really, really good at all of these tools, I hope that there was a new way to merge some of these tools together to make them completely unstoppable when they're together. If you have any feedback, I would love to have that feedback. As long as this form is open, you are welcome to put it there. If for some reason that form does close, you can always email me any feedback that you have at iloveeducating@gmail.com. Share with me some of the awesome stuff that you did. And of course, as Taylor Swift would say, I was enchanted to meet you. All of my resources are here. Your resources page, for those of you who are not Swifties, I literally I stripped all Taylor and Travis out of this. So this is just the written version of exactly what you can do step by step, including the tutorial video for every single one of the things that we went over today. So don't you worry. I took care of you too if you or your people are not about that life. Also, I did put in some additional resources in the resource document. These are websites and books that I highly, highly, highly recommend if you are diving into this AI for education platform, if you are really starting to figure out how you can use artificial intelligence in your classroom, where can students use artificial intelligence, what are some of the pitfalls and the as Ken Shelton and Dee Lanier say, the promises and the perils. We need to make sure that we are aware of all of these things as we are sharing this with folks all around. We are the advocates for AI. So here are examples of the objectives that we met. Of course, the circles, circumference one I showed you, the science that I told you, and then alignment to the new digital learning competencies. So again, thank you so much for being here. I hope this was beneficial. I look forward to hearing from you. Feel free to email me anytime you have a question or an aha moment, or if you're curious about if something will work a certain way, I am happy to help you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day or night, wherever you may be. And I appreciate you joining in on tech tools that go together like Taylor and Travis. Bye-bye.